The Russia-Ukraine war continues to evolve rapidly, with ongoing developments in the region that show no signs of slowing down. With the advancement of technology, we can now follow the news from the battlefield in real time, receiving updates almost instantly. Imagine this. We are able to gather information at such a rapid pace and witness firsthand what is happening in the midst of such a monumental conflict. However, if we look back through history, in the case of ancient wars, this kind of rapid information flow was simply not possible. People back then were completely unaware of the progression of the war, with no way to gain even the slightest piece of information about how things were unfolding. Perhaps there are many details about the horrific events of those times that we still don't know today, simply because there was no way to document or communicate the news as we do now. In today's world, the situation is vastly different. Russia, despite taking heavy losses on the front lines, is trying to alter the course of the war by implementing strategic changes and new approaches. Each new development in the conflict is of immense importance, as it could potentially shift the balance. Multiple new strategies are being put into action, and these efforts reveal Russia's determination to steer the war in a different direction. Today, we will take a closer look at the latest developments in the region, analyzing the movements of both sides and the significance of the events unfolding. What actions are being taken by each side? How is the war progressing, and what will the future hold? These are some of the key questions we will explore together. One of the more striking incidents we witness is the battle involving the 42nd Mechanized Brigade in the town of Toretsk, located in the Donetsk region. In this particular skirmish, we observe a Russian infantryman who is resisting Ukrainian forces. The Russian soldier is taking refuge in a small electrical booth. The Ukrainian forces launch their first attack, which causes the Russian soldier to quickly flee and take cover on the side. A second attack follows, and once again, he narrowly escapes. However, the area he seeks refuge in is damaged by the attack, so he is forced to move to another sheltered location. Yet, this second hiding spot is bombed 3 times by Ukrainian forces. Despite all these explosions, the Russian soldier somehow survives. At this point, it seems as though there is no way out. But then a drone, specifically an FPV first-person view drone, enters the shelter and strikes directly at the Russian soldier's position, causing an explosion that demolishes the small concrete structure. Even after all of this, the soldier remains alive, although severely injured. It seems almost unbelievable that after surviving all those attacks, the soldier is still hanging on to life. However, just when it seems like he has no chance of surviving, another FPV drone strikes, delivering the final blow and ending his struggle. Surviving one attack after another, only to ultimately succumb to death, is undoubtedly a grim fate. Each time the soldier survives, it gives him a renewed sense of hope, only to see that hope shattered once more. In a separate area in the Donetsk region, specifically southwest of Novotroitska village, we witness a few Russian soldiers who appear to be advancing toward Ukrainian positions despite the fact that they are using crutches to move. It is unclear why they are using crutches, as there doesn't appear to be any visible injury impeding their ability to walk. Perhaps it is simply a tactic to navigate the rough terrain with greater ease. As they make their way through the area, one of the FPV drones spots them and begins to approach. The drone waits for the perfect moment to release its payload. As the first Russian soldier looks up into the sky, completely unaware of the impending attack, the drone releases its bomb. By the time the soldier realizes what's happening, it's too late for him to react, and he is struck down. The drone immediately shifts its attention to the second soldier. Despite noticing the drone before his comrade did, the second soldier is unable to avoid the attack and falls in the same way. The FPV drone doesn't stop there. It continues to target the remaining Russian soldiers, finishing off those who have not yet perished. Elsewhere, the State Border Guard Service is actively engaging Russian forces near the village of Jurovka in the Sumy region with mortar fire. As Russian infantry units attempt to advance in this area, they are confronted by the difficult terrain and harsh weather conditions, which make it nearly impossible for them to move efficiently. Ukrainian forces, with the help of drone technology, have pinpointed the Russian units' exact location and are targeting them with precision strikes. These strategic actions prevent the Russians from advancing any further and hinder their progress. At the beginning of this video, we touched on the variety of tactics that Russia has been employing in this conflict. One such tactic, known as the camel strategy, is a particularly interesting and unique approach. Let's take a closer look at how this strategy is implemented and what its intended purpose is. In the Donetsk region in the city of Toretsk, Russian infantry is seen running rapidly from place to place, seemingly in a frantic state. Interestingly, the soldier is not carrying any weapon and appears to be unarmed. His only defense is a heavy suit of armor that he wears. Ukrainian forces observe him for a while before finally taking him down, neutralizing him as a threat. According to reports from the unit, even though the Wagner mercenaries are no longer in the region, their influence is still being felt, particularly in the Toretsk direction. This specific soldier is part of what is referred to as the camel strategy. The main goal of these soldiers is to get as close as possible to enemy positions and drop munitions, mines, or radios that will later be used by attack units. The idea behind the camel strategy is that these soldiers are expendable and are used as disposable assets. They are not given weapons because their mission is not to fight but to carry out a specific task and then be sacrificed for the cause. While they are well armored to survive longer distances, their sole purpose is to run, drop supplies, and die. There's some debate about how effective this strategy actually is, especially since the use of drones has significantly increased the ability of the enemy forces to neutralize targets. Regardless, this tactic is still being employed, showing that Russia is willing to sacrifice soldiers in such a manner, and their lives seem to be treated as expendable. Moving on to the Kursk region, we observe artillery units from the 61st Motorized Rifle Brigade engaged in combat with Russian forces in the villages of Cherkasska, Konopelka, and Makhnivka. Kursk has become a hotbed of intense fighting, and these battles are no exception. As Russian units attempt to advance, they come face to face with Ukraine's artillery forces, which are positioned strategically to devastate the advancing Russian soldiers. The terrain in this area is already difficult to navigate, and the artillery strikes further complicate the situation, leaving the Russian soldiers with little chance of survival. In the Donetsk region, in the village of Krymske, Russian soldiers are taking shelter in a ruined building. The destruction caused by the ongoing fighting has left the area almost completely devoid of any safe spaces for cover. The Russian soldiers are attempting to hide within the wreckage of the building, hoping to avoid detection. However, an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, from the Ukrainian side is keeping an eye on their every move. While soldiers can attempt to hide from drones, the sheer presence of Ukrainian tanks complicates their efforts even further. A tank from the 28th Mechanized Brigade arrives on the scene, and the Russian soldiers, despite their efforts to conceal themselves, are spooked by the loud tracks of the tank. They soon realize that they have been spotted, and the tank opens fire, destroying both the building and the Russian soldiers inside. The chances of escaping this attack were virtually non-existent. A confrontation between a soldier on foot and a tank is a battle of endurance, intelligence, and agility. The soldier understands that he cannot defeat the tank in direct combat, so he must use his wits and his environment to gain the upper hand. Tanks are formidable, but they are slow and cumbersome, and this weakness can be exploited by the soldier. For example, if the soldier has explosives, he might try to approach the tank and destroy it. The environment plays a crucial role in such confrontations. Dense fog or nighttime conditions could limit the tank's visibility, while also offering the soldier a chance to hide and plan his next move. Despite this, the soldier faces enormous challenges in such an encounter, and the odds are heavily stacked against him. Throughout the region, Ukraine has maintained its dominance in the skies with its use of UAVs. However, Russia also employs its own drones, such as the Zala reconnaissance UAVs. In this video, we observe a Russian Zala drone being shot down by the Ukrainian Diki Shershny anti-aircraft unit. Zala drones manufactured by the Zala Aero Company, are known for their portability and lightweight design, making them ideal for both military and civilian purposes. These drones are equipped with high-resolution cameras capable of conducting effective reconnaissance during both day and night, even utilizing thermal and night vision cameras to detect enemy movements. While Zala drones are capable of flying for hours and withstanding harsh weather conditions, they are no match for the Ukrainian drones, which target and neutralize them efficiently. As the battle continues, Ukrainian forces, particularly the 36th Naval Brigade in the Kursk region, encounter Russian convoy vehicles. The Russians are caught off guard by an unexpected attack as Ukrainian forces have planted mines on key roads and intersections. After the convoy vehicles are rendered inoperable, the Russian soldiers disembark and attempt to flee on foot. However, Ukrainian forces systematically hunt them down, making their escape nearly impossible. This strategy showcases how Ukraine is using advanced drone technology and strategic planning to disrupt Russian forces and create chaos within their ranks. In conclusion, this conflict demonstrates how modern technology and innovative tactics are reshaping the nature of warfare. Ukraine, with its superior drone capabilities and strategic approach, is effectively challenging Russia's advances on the ground. Despite taking losses, Russia continues to adjust its tactics in an attempt to turn the tide of the war. This war is not only a contest of military might, but also a reflection of how technology is transforming warfare, making it more immediate, more precise, and more devastating. As the war unfolds, the impact on human lives is undeniable, and the events of today will echo through history for years to come. The lessons learned from this conflict will likely shape future conflicts, and the memories of the devastation left in its wake will remain with us for generations. Subscribe to our channel to stay informed about new developments. See you in the next video.